Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. And this is a paid request for Lucas. He wanted me to do a commentary on a few Disney films, but I think he requested another one, but I'm going to try to do these two today. One is for the Hunchback of... I've heard it Notre Dame and I've heard it Notre Dame, so I'll say Notre Dame for sake of argument. But he wanted me to do a commentary on the Disney version of that, which came out around 1996, give or take. But I'm pausing at the beginning. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, review, re-review, thought streams, commentaries, reaction, tier list, ranking, random thoughts, whatever the case may be, video game playthrough, whatever, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a Cash App as well. Links are down below in the info box that I'll get to as soon as I possibly can. So, thank you. Do appreciate that. Lucas has been very generous. And pause the beginning. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. And make sure my headphones all the way in. Okay, you hear this chorus and the ringing of the bells as we have the Disney logo coming up about 20 seconds in. To be honest, I've only seen this film once before. I think that's when I reviewed it. So I don't remember a whole lot about the film. I do remember liking the film. I know the people that made this, that directed this, they had directed Beauty and the Beast, which is very popular and nominated for Oscars and huge success. And I think the two directors would also do Atlantis, which I remember not minding. I know this film did decently at the box office. I think it cost about 70 million and it made about 100 million in the US. And I think over 300 million worldwide. And critics seem to have liked it as well. Like Cisco and Ebert gave it some pretty high rankings among other ones. I think Oscars, they only got like a nomination for a song. But I think also the Razzies nominated for worst written film that grossed $100 million. I'm like, that's pretty damn specific. But it didn't win. Well, they call it Notre Dame in the movie, so there you go. I like that they have this bit of like epic chorus vibe to the music, which just fits in the proceedings of the time period this takes place in. I mean, it's definitely a film that definitely wants to take itself seriously. These dynamic camera angles with the movement of the camera, so to speak. I mean, just look at this. You have a woman that died. He uses the word hell, and he's ready to drop a baby down a fucking well. Jesus. When Disney was worth the shit, when Disney would take a chance and a risk. Like, imagine that. Imagine doing a movie today where someone says the word hell and they're ready to drop a baby down a fucking well. Jesus. If you know what I'm doing, I'm looking up the cast, trying to remember this guy's name. Tony J. Yeah, Tony J, who's the villain here. Claude Frollo. He was Megabyte in the TV show Reboot. Shere Khan in the Jungle Book 2. Let's see. So I know there's other stuff I've remember him from. Monsieur and Beauty and the Beast. He was in the Tom and Jerry movie. Yeah, hell of a way to open your movie. Just the seriousness of the situation. So you have Tom Hulce as Quasimodo. Tom Hulce is probably most well known for his portrayal of Mozart in the film Amadeus, which I know he was nominated for an Oscar for actor, but he didn't win. But Amadeus, that's one of those films that was really popular at the time, but you never hear anybody talk about that film. Like, when was the last time someone brought up Amadeus? Unless it's the song, Rock Beat, that's nothing to do with the movie. Amadeus, Amadeus, Rock Me, Amadeus. That song probably gets talked about more than the movie. So you have Jason Alexander, of course, is one of the voices who was on Seinfeld, among many other films. You also have Charles Kimbrough as the other gargoyle, which I know he sounds familiar. He was on Murphy Brown as the character Jim Dial, which I vaguely do remember Murphy Brown. I remember watching that back in the day. I haven't seen that show since I was a kid, so I actually like to revisit that one day, that TV show. And the third one is Mary Wicks, who passed away in 1995. Which I know that voice sounds familiar too. Oh yeah, she was in Sister Act. That's right. She was one of the nuns in Sister Act 1 and 2. But I know you say Disney at times did follow a type of formula where, for example, they would have these sidekicks that are much more for comedic effect. So whether it be Timon and Pumbaa and the Lion King, the candle and the other stuff in Beauty and the Beast, Sebastian the lobster and such, and the Little Mermaid. There's a lot of times they have these supporting characters that are meant for not only to help out your lead hero, but to give a bit of comedic relief for the kids. Also to probably help sell some toys as well. I thought they did a nice job with the character design of Quasimodo, where they have to make him a bit grotesque, but not too grotesque to scare or weird out or frighten the kids. I think the people who had the estate that this is based on, because of course you had the Hunchback of Notre Dame back to the day with Lon Chaney Sr. and of course the original story. I think the estate didn't like how the story was simplified and they were just commercializing it. I'm like, well, number one, yeah, it's Disney. I mean, what do you expect? And for a lot of people, this is probably the version of the story they remember the most. I mean, if you're a history buff, you remember, Lon Chaney Jr. or Sr., say, Lon Chaney's, the stories of what he did to his body to get those effects done in that time period of the silent movie era. But I think for most people, if they think of the story, they don't think of this version. And I'm sure they wanted to do a live action version of this. Because they want to do a live action. Hell, they did what? They did a live action version of Beauty and the Beast. They did one of The Little Mermaid, which I still haven't seen, thankfully. The Lion King, if you want to call that live action. The Jungle Book. They're doing Lilo and Stitch. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, they've done a lot. Cinderella, Lady and the Tramp, 101 Dalmatians they did in the 90s. So, I think like what ones they didn't do. Aladdin they did. I'm honestly surprised they didn't do one for Robin Hood. Well, I guess to be fair, I mean, people remember that film, but it wasn't looked at as the big box office hits of Beauty and the Beast and Little Mermaid and Aladdin and so forth. But I'm sure if they start running out of ideas, they'll try to go for stuff like that, I'm sure. Or, I don't know. They'll do a live action version of Frozen or something. I mean, whatever. That's a whole other thing. Well, I don't think the songs are probably as catchy in the pop culture compared to the songs in Aladdin and The Lion King. They're well sung, the voice and such. instrumentation. Like I said, I mean, I don't think this is a bad song. Like I said, it's not Circle of Life. It's not You Got a Friend in Me, all that stuff. Hakuna Matata. But yeah, definitely not a bad song. Yeah, it's definitely the period where they're really trying to push the way movement are in animated films. Like him sliding down there, moving the camera like this. Like in Beauty and the Beast, where they're dancing, and the camera's moving around, and it's like, why be limited to that? Well, it's animation. Well, still, we should be able to move the camera however we want. Like Tarzan, which I know is another one Lucas wants me to do a commentary on. You definitely see the dynamic camera work when he's going through the vines and stuff, which makes it much more of a visual splendor for the audience member. Nice wide shot of the location, the area, and then camera moving down to another one of our characters. And we got Kevin Kline. Always liked Kevin Kline. Always been a fan of his. He was great in A Fish Called Wanda. I even liked him in kind of not really a sequel, but a pseudo sequel because it's not a sequel, but it had like the same cast. Fierce Creatures. But I mean, he's been in a lot of other stuff as well. But did good actor Kevin Kline. I actually want to look up Kevin Kline, the films he's done. Dave, that's a fun one. In and Out is a good one. Yeah, Dave, In and Out I haven't seen forever. Remember that being pretty good. Yeah, he was in the Wild Wild West, that's right. But I mean, this is an era where they definitely make the villains as vile as you can for kids, and whether it be Scar, Jafar, even this character, They really make the villains just willing and willfully hateful of characters doing evil deeds. Just torturing, whipping the shit out of people in this family-friendly Disney movie. And of course, I should mention that the lady who was being accused and ran off and Kevin Kline helped, it was Demi Moore. Right there, Demi Moore. Who, of course, recently was in The Substance, which I really enjoyed that film. I think that's a very good film. And, of course, the Oscars came about and she didn't win shit. Some fucking film no one's heard of called Nora won. That no one's going to give a shit within months. No one's going to know what the fuck a Nora, give a shit what a Nora is. They're just not. But hey, that girl did thank the sex workers out there. So, congrats to the sex workers. Again, a bit of a weird thing to say, but you know, it's the Oscars. They're always full of shit. But yeah, Demi Moore was ironic because the story of The Substance is an older person being pushed away, overturned by a younger person who is much more prettier, brighter future. I'm like, isn't that the movie The Substance? And you just you did the same fucking thing that's in the movie. So the big irony of it all. But yeah, Demi Moore should have won. Should have fucking. I mean, the Oscars, who gives a shit, but Demi Moore deserved it. She deserved it, for fuck's sake. But, you know, that's reason number 852 is why the Oscars are full of shit. But I was always a Demi Moore fan. Loved her in Ghost, G.I. Jane, even Nothing But Trouble I like her in. With Chevy Chase. Always been a fan of hers. I know there's some controversy because some people didn't want Demi Moore in this because recently she was in the film Striptease. But yeah, she was in Striptease, which, I mean, I don't mind. Hell lot better than fucking Showgirls. But I think that's ironic considering, I mean, you can name a dozen Disney films where the actors were in some, you know, adult-oriented movies. And it's like, really? That's who you don't go after, Demi Moore? Seriously? Of course, nowadays they probably get pissed that Demi Moore played this character because it's supposed to be Romanian. And you tell by like her skin color, she's not quote white, but Demi Moore voices her this, so they probably be pissed at that. Just like they got pissed at guy voicing Apu to the point that they canceled the fucking character, and now he's not even on the show anymore. Whatever, people get butthurt about a lot of stupid fucking things. They say I get mad at everything. For fuck's sake. Uh-oh, they're gonna try to pull off the mask and they can't. This ain't gonna end well. Better get the hell out of there. Which I don't know. I mean, you look at him, he doesn't even look that bad. It's just, let's say someone punched him in the face a few times, he got a little bit of that cut me bit, cut me with the eyeball. Cut me bit, cut me. Swollen eye. It's funny, this reminds me of, I forget what, there was some horror anthology, I forget what it was, some anthology, where it had this bit where, like, Quasimodo is, someone like that is shown to the world, and he's all praised, and everything's hunky-dory, and everything's going well, and then the reality is that he's been tied up and ready to be burned alive and all this stuff. Talk about being fucking hostile. You're choking the shit out of his neck. Like, can you blame him? Yeah, you're fucking tying him up and bullshit. Y'all are schizophrenic. Y'all praising him and hyping him up, and now you're just beating the shit out of him. Tied up, set up like a goddamn Thanksgiving turkey. Get him, Demi Moore. Pull a G.I. Jane on his ass. Slap the shit out of him. Seeing G.I. Jane 2, motherfucker. Don't point your finger at me. Take that fucking finger, stick it up your ass. Stop your finger pointing. Yeah, you can tell Calvin Klein don't like it. He's ordered to do it, but you tell by his face he ain't liking it. I mean, you think about it, it's kind of like the gender switched Aladdin. You know, the street urchin, the street rat, so to speak, I should say, who's able to outwit and outshine the guards with their ingenuity and their agility. Just like Aladdin was doing at the beginning of Aladdin, she's doing it here. There you go, right in the balls. Come on, old man, get the fuck out of there. You and your two left feet. Damn, Quasimodo, how about you try running? Girl definitely knows her tricks. You know, Quasimodo, you could have, you could have ran and done shit instead of just standing there with the thumb up your ass watching the whole thing. Like, why were you just standing there? Fuck that place. Coming to America, boy. Come on. We coming to America. Yeah, get the fuck out of there. And speaking of the Aladdin thing, just like Aladdin has Monty, she's got her damn goat animal sidekick. So it's kind of like a female Aladdin. Which I know is dumb for me to say because, character was way back to the day of the story Hunchback of Notre Dame, but I'm just saying the way it's reworked into this, it does seem like a female Aladdin. I'm not even saying that as a bad thing. Watch your language, you're in church. I mean, Kevin Kline is definitely the right type of actor for voice acting. Definitely has a lot of personality and charm. What was the other animated film? I think Road to El Dorado, I believe he was in. El Dorado. Which I think had a song with Elton John, I believe. He wants the Poontang Bar, that's what he wants. He wants that striptease. And yeah, this was 1996. 1996 was a hell of a year for movies. I mean, you had. I remember specifically like being entranced with that year for movies. I mean, because you had. I think that's where I was getting magazines from like Entertainment Weekly and other places, and like getting really involved as to what was coming out. And I mean, you had Independence Day, you had Twister, you had Mission Impossible, you had films like The Rock, Ransom, comedies like The Birdcage, you had Jerry Maguire, you had even for like Steve from L.A., like films that just I remember like yep, that was '96. Yeah, the top 10 highest grossing films in the U.S. that is Independence Day, classic. Twister, always enjoyed that one. Mission Impossible, enjoy it. Jerry Maguire, don't mind. Ransom, I like. 101 Dalmatians, that was the live action one. The Rock, great movie. The Night Professor, not my cup of tea. The Birdcage, I like. A Time to Kill, I like. I mean, other films, you have Primal Fear, Tremors 2, which I've always been a fan of. You had, I'm just looking through some of the stuff. The Substitute with Tom Berenger, always enjoyed that one. Let's see. You had The Craft, which I liked. You got, let's see, films like, oh, The Arrival, that's a good sci-fi film. Good counterbalance to Independence Day if you want a smaller movie. I mentioned the Cable Guy, where Jim Carrey got the big payday, and that was all the talk was his payday. The movie was good, it was fun, but people talk more about the payday. Eraser, I think one of Arnold's more underrated films. I always liked Eraser. And that came out around the same time as, I think the same day as this movie was Eraser. So I mean, at the time, I'd be more willing to watch Eraser than this. Which yeah, I like Eraser more than this, but I do like this film. Even The Glare Man, one of the last pretty decent Steven Seagal films. The Long Twisted Night, that's Sally Bond, but that's a fun action movie. But yeah, Sweeners, that's a pretty good comedy. Always enjoyed Sweeners. Bad Moon is a good one. Larger Than Life, I actually like. There's a lot of stuff. Like that 1996 had a lot of good stuff to it. That's the thing. Not only was this film kind of pushing in terms of the subject material, I mentioned that whole opening, but also the religious. Because a lot of times they kind of want to shy away from religion because it could be a touchy subject. If you speak in one religion, then they're like, well, what about our religion? Or they'll take it the wrong way, or they'll get easily offended by it, or something else. Like I said, I know that the Victor Hugo, the people who were related to him, they had an issue with this film because he wrote the 1831 novel from way back in the day, of course. I'm trying to see. I should figure out what the fuck I was going to look up with this. Maybe I'll think about it later. It has a 7.0 out of 10 IMDb, which is damn, Hercules has a higher one than this? I don't know. I would put this above Hercules. I do remember liking Tarzan. I like Beauty and the Beast. I like Mulan, the original. Little Mermaid, I cannot get into The Little Mermaid. Plus, that's a creepy movie. Because Little Mermaid, the girl's underage, and the whole movie's about her shacking up with a prince, And the whole movie is her with like a fucking bra made of seashells and whipping her head around and trying to be sexual and shit. And I'm like, this girl's like 16, 15 years old. So, but people seem to overlook that for some reason. I'm like, this is fucking creepy. This is like sick. So what the fuck? Maybe that's just me, I guess. And I guess that's just me. Yeah, the song later on, Hellfire, considered one of the darkest songs written for a Disney film, was nearly cut from the film. The filmmakers briefly considered having Quasimodo killed off since that's his fate in the novel. He was originally supposed to be stabbed by Frollo, then Esmeralda regains consciousness and tries to save him by killing Frollo. Phoebus was then supposed to meet up with them, and Quasimodo's last wish was to ring the bells one last time. They take him to the bells, help him ring the bells, and Quasimodo dies. Final shot was going to include Esmeralda and Phoebus crying over their best friend as the people of Paris cheer for their success, unaware of Quasimodo's death. This is not the ending that was used because even hardcore fans now agree that the ending they used instead was a more suitable conclusion for the theme of this film. The filmmakers originally wanted Esmeralda to kill Frollo in order to save Quasimodo. Would have jumped onto the ledge, then grabbed Quasimodo's hand. Frollo would have attempted to kill Quasimodo with his sword, but Esmeralda would have kicked Frollo off the cathedral. The idea was ultimately abandoned as having a heroine kill the villain was considered improper in a Disney film, may have gotten the film a PG-13 rating. Some people say Frollo has been described as Disney's most evil character. Yeah, I can see that. Ooh, nice grab. Due to its dark and sexual themes, it nearly became the third animated Disney film to feature the PG rating since The Black Cauldron 1985 and Nightmare Before Christmas 1993. Originally, the three Dardanelles were going to be named Cheney, Lawton, and Quinn after the three actors who played Quasimodo: Lon Chaney, Charles Lawton, and Anthony Quinn. The original voices would have been Sam McMurray, Charles Kimbrough, and Cyndi Lauper. After Disney's legal department objected to using the actors' names, the animators renamed two of the Dardanelles as Victor and Hugo. Over several years, the characters of the Dardanelles were changed to make them reflect three sides of Quasimodo's personality. Judges realized that they had to recast two of the voice actors. Charles Kimbrough was kept as the voice of Victor, but McMurray and Lauper were reluctantly let go and replaced with Jason Alexander and Mary Wicks. Nathan Lane was also considered, but was unavailable due to his Broadway commitments. Very nice casual. Put me down, please. Nice bit of lighting there and showing the orange of the torch. They're never called gargoyles in the movie, perhaps commonly known as such. They are not gargoyles but grotesques, which are statues of demons or monsters said to scare evil spirits. True gargoyles are hollow and used as spouts for draining rainwater, hence the name. It comes from the French term gargoule, which means to gargle. So they're not gargoyles, they're grotesques. Okay, interesting. The directors know that the three gargoyles might exist only in Quasimodo's imagination and be split off pieces of his own identity. But how can they be moving around and helping defend the cathedral if they are not really alive? Well, I don't know, maybe the directors just said that because they thought that would seem much more unique or something, I don't know. Apparently, this was former CEO Michael Eisner's favorite of the studio's movies. So Mandy Patinkin, who I remember from Alien Nation and Nito Montoya and The Princess Bride, he auditioned for Quasimodo, but his audition was such a disaster it was known as the Patinkin Incident. According to the directors, he brought along his own arranger to do a new arrangement of the song Out There. This angered the composers who walked out of the audition. Patinkin's style portraying Quasimodo also collided with the producer's demands, and he later stated, I was just there at the audition. I said, I can't do this. He would go on to play Quasimodo in the TV movie, 1997, Hunchback Notre Dame, the following year. So he brought his own the guy to go, yeah, I don't know about this song. This is how they think the song should go. I said, what the fuck? That's our job, dude. That's not your job. Your job is to work for us. I think this is the song Hellfire. Now this says it cost 100 million, but Wikipedia says 70 million, so I don't know. Granted, Wikipedia doesn't. Yeah, this is definitely a memorable song. Even the ring of it, Hellfire, Hellfire. Fire my desire. It's just well animated. Just the whole creating all the red robes and the way they work the fire, the way it's animated. Definitely do a good job with that. Fire Hill. Yeah, just how big the camera angles are, just the epic feel to the whole song. More epic than anything I saw in that fucking Emilia Perez movie, I'll say that. Was that won an Oscar for song? For one of the songs? I'm like, what? How the hell did Emilia Perez win a fucking Oscar for any songs? Just like, I don't know how Zoe Saldana won for giving a shitty performance. But whatever. So now they're looking more and more for Esmeralda. Now there's going to be more and more threats. They're going to try to burn this fucking place down, I'm sure. Say, wow, what a piece of shit. Total piece of shit. Yeah, they don't have that torch for nothing. Yeah, they lock the door, burn the fucking place down. What the fuck? Yeah, because I was going to say, if he was going to willingly put that fucking torch, that's kind of his defining moments. Like, come on, dude, this is too much. And there you go, his hero moment, rescuing the family. He'll get him in trouble and deep shit, but okay, I see. Yeah, I hit him in the back. You can't have him a one-on-one fight, you chicken shit. You can't have a one-on-one fight because you know you lose. You have to hit him in the back, you piece of shit. Ooh, nice. Nice cross. There you go. Get the fuck out of there. I don't know why. I look at some of those soldiers and the way their helmets are, maybe think of RoboCop. Like somewhere the helmets with, I think it's like the, yeah, they look. You look at, they look like RoboCop, like the top of RoboCop's helmet. That's for me. This is a dark movie. I mean, a guy got hit with an arrow, flung off the fucking bridge. Right after the villain was ready to burn a bunch of kids in the fucking family and kids in the fucking hut, burn alive. definitely one of those films you watch nowadays and you appreciate kind of how mature it is. I don't mean mature as in sex and violence. I mean mature as in the themes and what the villain is willing to do, and among other things. How far he's willing to go, so to speak. That's the thing. If the directors want to say that these three don't exist, then why would they be? Okay, I was going to say, why would they be talking when he's not even there or around or awake? I mean, sometimes I do wonder with some of these anime films if you needed the sidekick, so to speak. Ideas there for the comedic values, there for the kids. I mean, I don't dislike these characters, but it's not like I put on my favorite characters list of Disney. And I don't know if they needed a song either. I just say think like a lot of the other Disney films, the sidekicks have a song to themselves. So like Hakuna Matata, very popular song, Timon and Pumbaa. I mean, I guess you would say the genie in Aladdin was the most people consider the star, but he was the sidekick, the non-human, sidekick. Of course, he had a song. You never had a friend like me. How popular that song was. Even Under the Sea, Little Mermaid by the Sebastian, Be Our Guest, Beauty and the Beast. So again, it seems like that's part of the formula they want to keep up. Of not only do you have these comedian sidekicks that are not human, but also they need a song to themselves. But again, I don't think you need this song. I don't think this song is. This is one thing that I could say I don't really care for. It's not Hakuna Matata. Even though I don't like Little Mermaid, the song Under the Sea is memorable. I'll give you that. It's not, this. Yeah, it's. Don't really give a shit about this song. So, that's one aspect to say I don't care for. But it is, it's still part of that. We have to follow this formula. I think also because so much of it is this much more like serious affair, like Hellfire, and then you had like I said, the Kevin Kline getting shot by an arrow, falling off the bridge, kids almost being burned alive, and oh, we have the Tootsie, sidekick song about love. Like I said, Kevin Kline definitely works well as a. I'm surprised he didn't do more voice acting throughout the years. I mean, he did some. Like I said The Road to El Dorado was one of them, but he did definitely. Well, I mean, can you really be that surprised, Quasimodo? Don't be too surprised. I mean, it's the first girl you met. The first girl you meet, do you think is going to be love forever and ever? Like, come on, dude. You really think your batting average is going to be 100%? Hey, the first girl I met, now is going to be forever. It's like most guys, there's, dozens and dozens and dozens, and before you might meet the right one. And we got about 29 minutes left in the film, so. But yeah, plus you have to think the end credits as well, so. Sorry it's not the most enticing commentary, because, again, this is like the second time I'm watching it. I didn't grow up with the film, I didn't see the film back in the day. So it's. Usually for me, I have to watch a film at least a couple, half dozen times before it really enters the memory bank, so to speak. Maybe not that many, but at least a couple times. Grapes. I can't remember the last time I even had grapes. I like grapes. I don't mind grapes. And I mean, I like both the green and the purple grapes. But I think I can't remember which one is sweeter, the purple or the green grapes. Maybe the purple. I cannot remember which is more sweeter. So I'm just listening to the dialogue. Sorry for the silence. So the pendant was a map. Well, yeah, interesting way to do it. Although I'm trying to remember if they follow him, and that's how they find out where she's at. Does he left? He has a smile on his face as if he had a plan. So that might be the case. Is that they follow him, and then this is where she's at. Damn. Got enough skeletons there? It reminds me of this scene in Stephen King's Graveyard Shift where under the textile mill, under the ground, there's this area where there's just like mountains of like skeletons and stuff. Or not only that, but what was that? Under Paris? I always forget what they're called. It's in the movie As Above, So Below. Where the catacombs, we see like there's skeletons, all on like skulls and stuff. Yeah, there's like the catacombs in Paris. Always seem like just creepy places to be in, and makes for a good atmosphere place for give you the spooky elements. Whether a horror film in that movie or in this case. You think maybe you would want, I don't know, to question them to see how they found it? You think it's like, hey, let's question to find out how did they find where we were at? How did they find our location? Does anybody else know? Are there any reinforcements? This seems like there'd be a lot of questions you want to ask before you try to hang them, but hey, what do I know? Do other people know? Do you two know? As in, no more information you could give us? Yep, that's what I thought. Just, I mean, I know I saw this film once before, but I don't remember much about it, so I'm like, oh, that is this plan all along. Yep. Lead them to where they need to go. Debbie Moore definitely has that attitude and spunk. It works very well for her character. I just think the animation is very well done. The voice acting, very capable cast. It's not too overlong of a film. I mean, there's only 19 minutes left of the film, so it's pretty much 90 minutes on the dot with credits. And again, I appreciate how serious the production is. Again, the only thing that really kind of disneyfied is the three. I still want to say gargoyles. The three comic relief characters. Yeah, I did definitely see how this villain will definitely be up there as the most evil of villains. Plus, he's like the biggest hypocrite. He's all about religion, 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 and yet every fucking sin is he's broken. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not all the stuff. Hey Quasimodo, please stop being a pussy. Stop being a sissy. Get out of the chains. Stop being a pussy. Stop being a bitch. They're like, yeah, I never knew you were such a pussy. He's like, yeah, I don't want to talk to you, pussy. I don't want to talk to you anymore. He's just a gosh darn sissy. Come on, Gorbachev, tear down these walls. Give a nice heroic moment for this character. Breaking through the chains, swinging like a hero. Nice dynamic camera work here. Beautiful shot showing all those people in the crowd. Trying to animate certain people so they're just not standing there like statues. In nice wide open spaces. Almost makes it seem like he's gonna throw her off the fucking thing. Nice. Break all their shit. I mean, they're fighting for a good cause, but once again, showed us how much sheep they are. They were willing to fucking stand by and let him go. But thank God one guy gives a speech and then they're willing to do it. It's like, why didn't you do it before? That's a hell of a punch, breaking all his damn teeth. So this goes to the notion, if it was all in his head, how come they can fight the soldiers? It's like, no, you don't. Get your ass up here. Goodbye. I think I heard a little bit of that Goofy sound effect. The Goofy, the Disney character. I think I heard a little bit of that when that one guy was yelling, was falling. There's an ode to Wizard of Oz. Even had a little bit of that music. Da, 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 da. I think if it goes into just his imagination, how are they able to do all this stuff? Hey, fire it up, burn you up. Definitely gives a big grandiose feel to the finale, to the ending of it. I think the other guy is David Ogden Stiers, which he's been a lot of stuff. He was in the Dead Zone TV show. He was on the TV show MASH. Among other stuff. Just back then, they didn't know how to check pulses. Try CPR. I'm gonna say, let me throw you in my armpit. See if that waked you up or something. Oh shit. Gonna be able to do me damn backstabber. Does he stab into his hump or something? Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Ah, nice. I mean, does it make you wonder how the ITIT gargoyles, how they all work in this world, as to why does only he see them but nobody else does? Like, there's really no rhyme or reason to it. I did. You can't say it's his imagination because how was his imagination shooting rocks like bullets, among other stuff, at the soldiers. Now I know we saw the one statue. Some people thought that was Pumbaa, like Timon and Pumbaa, but then he was like, no, that's just how they normally look. It wasn't a reference to Lion King. It was just how. Yeah, I will say I would have preferred if one of them had give the big blow to the bad guy. Again, I guess from what I read up, if that was done, it would have affected the rating, and they did not want to affect the rating on this. But as a story, it's just the fact that it just crumbled just from, I don't know, luck, timing, fate. That just it's just not as effective. Like I would prefer if Quasimodo's hanging. Maybe it's reversed. Like Quasimodo's hanging on to her, and he'll allow himself to die without letting her go, and then she does something to hit the guy off or something like that. I would have preferred. I would have definitely preferred that. They should have had either Quasimodo or Esmeralda give the finishing blow. Again, I know it affect the rating, which would, in their eyes, affect the box office. But as a story, I think that would have been better as a story point. It would have been benefited the story more because again, the whole up it just crumbled. It just crumbled below them just because how lucky that one moment at that time it just happened to crumble. It's like, come on, that's a bit too lucky. But I know that's a common trope. It's like, come on, common trope. But that's a trope I get annoyed by. And I actually forgot, but also I think I forgot that the girl actually did deal with Kevin Kline's character. So they didn't go with the Beauty and the Beast, her overcoming, not caring about his abnormalities, but loving him for who he is on the inside. And I just they felt, listen, guys, we're letting him live. That's good enough. We also can't go with also he don't get the Poontang pie. It's like, come on, we're already letting him live when he died in the original story. You know, that's good enough. Him getting the girl, that's a bit too much for us. Like, come on. Which actually, I've been again, I'm a bit. I actually appreciate that because that seemed like it would have been a more familiar trope than him getting the girl at the end. But again, I'm actually surprised, but in a good way because there's more to life than getting laid, believe it or not, and him being accepted and now he has many more opportunities. So yeah. I guess he's kind of like that guy. And what was it? And was it Pretty in Pink? Like you think that, which originally I think it was that where you think the best friend's going to get with Molly Ringwald, but it's actually Andrew McCarthy. Well, originally it was supposed to be the other guy, but I guess audiences or someone didn't buy it, so they changed it to Andrew McCarthy. What was the character's name? Dutty or something? So this is the Dutty of this movie. There you go. But yeah, overall, I liked it. I still liked it. I still think it's a sincere, serious story told for the most part maturely. There was a whole lot of like fart jokes or that kind of lowbrow jokes. It's a short film, very nice animation. You know, the music, I mean, I wouldn't say is up there with, again, The Lion King or Aladdin, but there's some good songs, Hellfire in particular. I like the voice cast, Demi Moore, Kevin Kline, Tom Hulce. I don't think you need the three. Well, it says they're gargoyles, so I'll call them gargoyles because they say there. I don't think you need the three gargoyles. The villain is definitely very, very evil, hateful. Well, you know, serious moments. I mean, you definitely feel the jeopardy. You definitely feel the stakes involved with the story. I did the death of the villain. It's Disney, so of course I don't go too far with it because it's Disney, you know. But at the same time, I don't know. I still think one of the characters should at least like kicked him off, punched him off, pushed him off, and I did. Just for me, that would have been better for the story. But you know, they wanted to save the rating more than the story, and then I would blame the ratings board. Like, really, that's where you have your book up your ass? It's not the guy ready to put a baby down a fucking well. It's not, oh, the villain's gonna burn these kids and family up in this fucking house. It's not the one guy, you know, Kevin Kline getting shot with an arrow and falling off a bridge. It's, oh, the hero defeating the villain. That's where you don't have a bug up your ass with the rating. So I blame more the ratings board for being pussies. So, there you go. Fuck the ratings board. They're hypocritical, full of shits. FOSS, FOSS, full of shit syndrome, as I put it. But this is a good one. Good animated film. I mean, I don't know if it did well. It's like I say, if it really did cost $100 million and it made $100 million in the U.S., and that's not a hit. And $300 million worldwide. I mean, it also depends how much marketing they had, and then theaters, chains, they did a chunk of the money. So I don't know. Maybe this film didn't do well for them. I don't know. I mean, it definitely did do as well as Aladdin, The Lion King, so that might be looked at as a disappointment. So I don't know if it was a box office success or not. I just think, okay, it's $100 million. They made $300 million worldwide. But again, what was marketing, all that stuff. So I don't know for certain. But either way, good film. Thanks for watching. Take care. Thanks once again, Lucas, for the request. And we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.